introduction, if you haven't been on one of my trainings yet, I am the business development and training executive for Rock Title. I do cover Arizona and Nevada. We are growing nationally, which is super exciting. We have several offices across both states, an amazing Rockstar escrow team. We have an awesome account executive and sales rep team helping you with your business, implementing the best practices and strategies. If you have not met with one yet, please do. If you don't know who that would be, email me. I'll make sure you get an introduction. You can email, it's very simple, justin@rocktitle.com, JUSTIN@rocktitle.com. I'd be happy to introduce you. And today we're going to be covering Google business profiles. So first, we're going to go through a couple of slides and just kind of get a little bit more detailed information of what a Google business profile is, how you can utilize it in your business, kind of the algorithm factors that go into making sure it's set up correctly. That way you can get the best use out of it. Before I do that, I'm going to click over here to a awesome new website called rockuniversity.com. So this hasn't been publicly announced yet, but the two trainings today, I'm letting you have the first look at it. And what is super awesome about this is going to house all of our live training schedules and even an exclusive. Let me make sure this gets muted here. Cool. This is going to house all of our live training schedules. There's going to be an exclusive access video library there that you can register 24/7 and get any of our previous recordings or trainings, and you have access to that to view any time of the day. So as I scroll down here, you're going to see our training schedule. Last week we had Altos market reports, Google business profiles we're doing today. Next we've got Facebook ads. Jacqueline Baker's on the call today. We're going to be doing preliminary title reports and how to read that. So make sure you schedule for that. But you can see here we have all different types of topics that we're going to be going over. Create winning listing presentation. That one's going to be super cool in Canva. Farming, all that good stuff. So tons of different classes every Thursday at 1 o'clock through the end of June. There will be in-person trainings as well, both in Arizona and Nevada. So keep a lookout for that. I'll make sure that gets communicated to everybody. But when you have a chance, please come take a look at rockuniversity.com and go ahead and take a look at all the different classes available and get those scheduled. Sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth here, getting these people admitted as well. And just for safety factors, I'm gonna do a little co-host real quick.
Excuse me, that was rockuniversity.com.
rockuniversity.com.
Thank you.
ROCuniversity.com. Very cool. So I'm gonna jump right back over here and we can get started. All right, Google business profiles. I'm going to go here. We just talked about trainings every Thursday. Hopefully a lot of you went ahead and registered there for next week's class. If you haven't yet, you can always go to Rock University later and get registered with that. All right, we're going to jump right in. So Google business profiles. What is it? So a Google business profile, or you'll hear me say a GBP, is a tool that's similar to a website. And it helps people find your real estate business whenever they search for real estate services in your area, right? So anytime even you and I are looking a business up or something, food near me, restaurants, plumbers, like whatever it is, we're just going to Google, right? Just Google it. How many times have we said that so far since Google has existed? In a way, you can think of it as a modern day version of the Yellow Pages, right? The digital age. Today, whenever a person does a Google search for professional in their area, like real estate agents in Scottsdale, Las Vegas, wherever it may be, if the business has a Google business profile, the search results would bring those businesses near the top of the search results page. I just took a screenshot of this from my phone. You can just see that's typically what a Google business profile looks like. There's some extra features on here just because I was logged in. And Google controls over 91% of the global search engine market. That's insane. 91% of the global search engine market. So if you don't have a Google business profile, today is a day that you set time aside to make sure you do it, because the consumers are there. Now, the GBP or your Google business profile has ranking factors, right? We talk about algorithms all the time. Social media has algorithms. Everything just about has an algorithm. And Google's is no different. So there's tons and tons of different calculations in this algorithm, but really they're into 3 different buckets. Okay, and the 3 buckets are relevance, distance, and prominence. So the ranking factors, let's start with relevance, refers to how well a local business profile matches what someone is searching for. Add complete and detailed business information to help Google better understand your business and match your profile to relevant searches. So what that means is you want to make sure that all of your, when we go through to optimize this today, all of your information is accurate and correct. Business name's accurate, phone number is critical, especially when we start to talk about citations. There's a little bit of technicality in here, so hopefully I don't lose you guys. I am recording this just like last week. I'll make sure you get all the different assets in this recording emailed over to you by the end of the day. But you want to make sure anything in that profile is 100% accurate, so that when somebody does a search, Google can automatically match you and the consumer together. And it'll show your profile at the top of the page. The next one is distance. This one's kind of hard to optimize more than what we already can, because Google wants to show businesses closest to that user. I'm going to close that email so we don't have to deal with that. There we go. So distance is one that, you know, it's hard to get super control of, but I'll show you that you can add zip codes in the areas that you choose that you want to work in. So distance considers how far each potential search result is from the location term used in the search. If a user doesn't specify a location in their search, or calculate distance based on what we do know about their location. Again, this has a lot to do with the citations that we're going to be talking about. And the last one is prominence. And this has to do even with your reviews. So prominence refers to how well known a business is. Prominence is also based on information that Google has about a business from across the web. So there's links, articles, and directories. Google review count and review score factor into local search ranking. More reviews and positive ratings can improve your business's local ranking. So prominence is, to go a little bit deeper, Google will search for profiles across the web that you are associated with. And what that means is what it can match your phone number to, any address, the business name. That's why all that information is so important to make sure it's accurate. So like if you have a Google or a Facebook business page, it can pull that information. If you're on Yelp, Foursquare, all that good stuff, Zillow, Realtor.com, it's gonna pull and do a search for that phone number and contact information. And the more information you have across the web, the better chance that you're gonna show at the top when someone Googles a real estate service near them, or even just your name for you to pop up. Okay, and then also when we jump into actually show an example of how to create a Google business page and optimize it, here are the 9 elements that we're looking at today. So we want to ensure, just like I said before, that your information is accurate and up to date. It's critical for it to be able to link across all platforms. Select the relevant category. This is critical. So you can go in and select what type of business category you fall in. Default is real estate agent. There's a real estate agency, a couple others, but I, in this instance, would highly recommend real estate agent. Fill in a complete description. We'll talk about this too. There's a spot to fill in business information. You want to make sure that is professionally written and well thought out. Of course, a lot of these might seem logical, but people go in and create Google business pages and they do a name, they get the little code in the mail for you to verify it, and they think they're good to go. But there's so much still left to do to make sure that you get the most benefit out of this service. So of course, add photos. You're going to be adding things like listings, open house photos, all that kind of good stuff, local photos of the valley. Your website URL, critical to make sure that you have in there. Business hours, of course, you can choose your business hours. A lot of agents put 24/7, but if you want to have any sanity in your life, I would definitely put some, working business hours in there. Create a Google business profile website. So Google has allowed you to have a quote unquote website within the profile itself. And we'll take a look at that. This will not replace an existing website you already have or an actual website, okay? However, it is important that you go ahead and do this part because one, it's free. Two, the more you play Google's game, the more they're generous to you. Collect reviews, and a lot of them. Google loves to know that you have 5-star reviews. You don't need all 5-star reviews. Say you have 100 5-star reviews. I always say this to agents when I have one-on-ones. 4.7, 4.8, 4.9 out of how many reviews you have looks human. It looks real, right? We can thank Amazon for putting stars on all of us. You go to Amazon, you're not ordering the 2-star, you might order the 3-star product, right? 4 stars and above, we're pretty safe with that. And then of course, add posts to share business updates. This is fairly a newer feature with Google and probably one of the most important. So posts are kind of a blog style feature that you can put on your profile. And I'll show you guys how you can add those in there, plus give you ideas of what kind of posts you can add in there. Okay. All right, you heard me talk about citations before. You may have heard of Google Business Profiles, but you probably haven't heard of citations. Let me just make sure no one else is. Let me admit these guys in here, sorry. There we go. Citations for local SEO. So citations from well-established sites help increase the degree of certainty search engines like Google have about your business's contact information. So what is a citation? Citation is another third-party website that contains your business name and contact information. So examples, Yelp.com, that's a citation. Google is going to take the phone number and information you put into the profile and go across the web and try to match up through all these different citations. And if it's successful in gathering quite a few of them, when I say quite a few, I mean like a handful, they are more prominent to put you higher in the ranking, okay? Because they know this phone number is real, this business is probably real, everything is legitimate, all right? So if you're not on some of these other websites, you wanna make sure that you go in and do that, like Yelp or Foursquare. Zillow is a citation. Realtor.com is a citation. Even things like your brokerage. A lot of brokerage websites have agent directories or agent finder. If your brokerage allows you to go in and make sure that you have a bio, a photo, phone number, all that stuff displayed, that is considered a niche citation, and Google will pull that as well. Here's some example citations. I went over a couple of them, right? So there's 3 categories for citations. Generic citations, which are your Yelp.com, Foursquare.com, Yellow Pages. Your niche citations, and in our instance, right, we're in real estate, Zillow.com, Realtor.com, HomeLight, services like that. Geo citations are more geographical. They're local. So even your association may have agent directories. That's a local citation or a geo citation. 602area.com. Of course, we have Nevada people in here. I'm so sorry. I'll make sure to include some for the other state as well, but 602area.com, azlocalbusiness.com are some examples as well. All right, so you want to make sure that you go in, however you feel about Zillow, you want to make sure to go in and that profile is current and updated with a phone number, your email, all that good stuff. You want to make sure these are all consistent across all platforms, even your Facebook business page. You want to make sure all your contact info is 100% accurate and consistent. And if you don't want to do it yourself, there's companies out there that you can hire to do it. So SEObuilder.com is a site that you can pay to build these citation pages or accounts for you. Do know that it does take, if you go on Yelp.com and Foursquare and you start to, get on all these different sites like that, it will not happen overnight. SEO in general and algorithms take time. It will take a few months for everything to get integrated, but I promise you it works. Once you get into the algorithm and the search engine game, it gets better from there. So if you don't want to take the time to sit down and go through and build those profiles and make sure to do an audit on these different citation websites, you can always hire a company. This is just one of them. There's several out there. You can Google all different kinds of them. Any questions on what we've gone over so far?
How much does that usually cost?
So SEO Builder is fairly inexpensive. I think I'll even go to the website right now so you guys can see it. I think it was like they had a package for $35. Let's see, citation building. So 35, and they do a mix of generic, geo, niche, $60, 110, depending on how many of these you really want to get on, right? This is kind of excessive. 35 is more than enough. Okay. So if you're busy,
thank you.
Yeah, of course. Good questions. Got
Yes,
something,
Justin.
How many zip codes can we add? You had mentioned that earlier.
Yep, I'll go over that when we jump into actually creating a profile. Typically, there's really not a limit, but you want to make sure that you're concise and kind of where you want to work, because if it's too many, then when somebody searches something and Google already showed you one time, and then now there's like a whole thing that goes into that. So you want to, a good rule of thumb is, I would say, up to 10 zip codes.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Justin, I have a question.
Yeah.
Regarding the citations, what are they supposed to do for you?
So citations allow you, and citations, it's just the language, but there's websites like Yelp.com and things like that. And what they do is when Google for your profile goes through and starts trying to locate the phone number that you have in your profile or an address or the business name, it wants to try to match it up with other websites or directories. The more times that it can locate it and link the information to be accurate, the more that Google believes that you're a real business. And it's going to rank you higher than, say, another agent that doesn't have any other citations or isn't on Yelp.com, isn't on Foursquare, isn't on Zillow, isn't on, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a verification factor for Google.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Of course. Exactly, Manjeet. Citations is credibility. Great way to put it. Yes, Mamta, you can go and create them yourselves. It's super easy. I mean, Yelp.com doesn't take very long. All these other different websites don't take very long. It's just, I've learned being in this business, sometimes agents just want to just have it taken care of, right? So you do have that option. That's why I wanted to bring it up here, but you can absolutely go and do it yourself. Cool. Let me pull this over here. Okay, so we're going to talk reviews for a second too, because we know, right? We just, in this business, we're always told we should be getting reviews, whether it's Zillow, Facebook, wherever it is. If I were to tell you one place to be able to get reviews, it would be Google, because it is, you know, you've heard in the industry that Zillow owns a consumer or something like that. Then in my opinion, Google has surpassed that, and having the ability to show up when somebody Googles a service related industry like real estate, realtor near me, sell my house near me, anything like that. The power behind it is insane. So a couple things here. 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations, right? So if I were to ask you guys, if you got a lead from, let's say, an internet lead compared to a other source like a referral, right? A friend sends you a referral or some way like that. The internet lead is a much harder sell. We walk into the listing appointment for the referral knowing we pretty much already got it, right? So 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So the more reviews you have that are true, authentic, and genuine will allow you to win more just because of that, okay? So here's a couple things. Social proof drives consumer action. Having reviews and interactions like this is social proof, okay? And it drives consumer action. They're gonna make a decision based off of that. You go to Amazon to order a product. Those reviews are proof for you to make an action, make a purchase. They make you more visible, right? So all these algorithms that we're talking about makes you more visible in the algorithm. They make you look trustworthy, okay? That pretty simple there. They expand the conversation about you. This one's very cool because in reviews, typically your clients or just consumers are going to leave additional tidbits about you, about the process, about the transaction, how it went, right? We hope it was great, but it allows them a little bit more insight in how you are as a human, a business professional. And of course, they're just essential to decision making, right? Someone's gonna look something up and it's got 2 stars, the decision is gonna be a no. So you wanna make sure that you go through and you're always asking for reviews.
Hey, Justin, I have a question.
Yes,
If we have a lot of reviews on realtor.com, can we now, if we set this up for, you know, Google Business, can we bring those over? Is there a way to do that?
yes and no. So there's no way for you to import them over to be an actual Google review. The client would have to, you'd have to ask the client to go over and leave the review. You can do that a couple ways. You can send them an email or a text with the review that they left on realtor.com with the link to your Google business page. Say, hey, I'm trying to increase my Google reviews. Can you please leave this review here? I'd greatly appreciate it. The other kind of longer answer is over time, these citations with realtor.com is one. Google will show other websites at the bottom of your Google business page with the reviews.
Okay.
Zillow is one of the options. And let me, I'm just picking this agent because I was looking at other agents earlier. And if I scroll down here, it pulled these Zillow reviews in this profile.
Okay,
So you can either have them go and just start focusing on getting new Google reviews to build that up, or over time, it's going to pull profiles, other citations, and show those on your profile as well.
okay, thank you.
Of course. Okay, and before we jump into actually creating a Google business page and kind of giving you guys firsthand look at what it actually looks like on the dashboard, here's some ideas for your Google business page post. Again, these are more like blog style things and updates that you can have on your Google profiles. So you can reach beyond just your followers, give everyone searching for your business a reason to come in. These are only shown for 7 days, so update at least once per week. More is recommended. Google did this on purpose to make sure the content's always fresh. So after 7 days, that post goes away and you're gonna have to post another one. Couple of ideas, your new listings, always post those there. Sold properties, blog style posts like 5 ways to get your home ready to sell, local posts, things like that. Market updates, Altos reports, which Rock Title sponsors for real estate agents, is a great way for you to either take screenshots or verbiage and create a little market update that way. If you are not on Altos reports yet, reach out to me, or if you're already working with account executive, reach out to them and make sure that you get on those. The feedback there has been amazing. So again, if you don't know who your account executive is, please email me and I will make sure to introduce you. Open houses, of course, you can update and post your open houses that are coming up, events that you're hosting, maybe community events or anything like that, client appreciation. And of course, always use video and photos in your posts. So for mine, let me just come over here. So this is my Google business profile. You see these options here because I'm actually logged in on the Google account that I created this with. But if I scroll down, I posted this one earlier just to make sure I had a couple on here. So if you click on this, it's an update or post. And I just took verbiage from my website and added a photo. I just found a golf photo. And Arizona is one of the top destinations in the nation for golfing due to its dry environment and 300 plus days a year of sunshine. So I just took a snippet from a blog on my website, added a photo, and created a post. This is super important because it talks about Arizona quite a bit. Talks about even why people are moving here because it's a golf destination, things like that. This is more real estate related. This is obviously what I do. I train a real estate agent, so I posted today's class here as well. You can even create buttons, learn more, sign up. So if I click learn more, I have it go directly to the page on my website that talks about golfing in Arizona. It's actually a pretty cool feature. Here for this class, for that post, I did sign up and it goes to the registration page. So when we're talking about Google business page posts, that's what it is. They're like little updates on your profile. So anyone that's searching for a service, they get more kind of insight on what kind of agent you are. You're very involved in the market. You've got listings happening. You have open houses. You just have updates in general. You can even post certain things like maybe you offer something special out of, as an agent, whatever your business model is. Maybe there's something extra you do for your clients, reviews, video reviews with clients, a video of you walking through a house as you're previewing. Those would be all great updates that you can add in here. I just want to make sure anytime I do these that I definitely give you guys some ideas and stuff, because I know it's difficult to sit down and, all the different platform stuff we can post on. It's like, my gosh, what are we gonna post? All right, and putting it all together. So we're gonna go through a live walkthrough on creating and optimizing your GBP page. And then, of course, this is all recorded. I'll make sure that at the end of the day, everybody gets this recording. That way you can go back and take a look at it, kind of go step by step. Looks we got one thing in the chat box. I just want to make sure. Cool. Awesome. So the first thing you do to create a Google business profile, you're just going to go to google.com/business. And I am gonna just switch this real quick. just to make sure we are in the right spot. Perfect. So this is what it's going to look like when you first go to google.com/business. How you're going to do it is either if you already manage one, you click manage now, or you can click sign in. Of course, you have to have a Google account to create a Google business profile. You don't have to have a Gmail per se, but you do have to have a Google account. So you're going to click sign in. It's going to automatically sign me in because I already have one. But what you would do is it's just going to ask you, it's going to take you to the screen. Okay, and it's going to start with your business name. Now, I always recommend doing your name at whatever brokerage you are with. Okay, the reason I recommend that is for SEO reasons. One, obviously your name has to be in it. People are going to search or look you up later, maybe even after a listing appointment or a buyer appointment. I would make sure to at least put your name, and then always making sure that you're compliant and disclosing what brokerage you're with. And also you are kind of picking up on that brokerage's SEO as well that way. Good question. If you're an LLC, you can always add that in there if you wanted to. It's not necessary, but you absolutely can. So if mine is Justin Taylor PLLC, if that's what I wanted my name to be, I can add that in there too. Is there an app
Justin?
for post? Yeah, go ahead.
Justin, you can actually be doing this from the business app as well, right?
So the Google Business Profile app has been replaced. You do it directly from the Google Maps now. That just happened in the last week or so. So
So
there's
that-
no,
My business is no longer working, my business app.
I think it's working for a time period, but they've moved it over to just Google Maps. So if you go to Google Maps and type in your profile, or you can click in there in the settings to add a profile, you can do it that way. Otherwise, you can do it from your laptop. But the app, I believe, is being transitioned out from what they said. They're just going to incorporate into the maps.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Of course. And then is there an app for posting? Somebody asked. There, not that I know of, to automatically post to that. Again, the Google Post is fairly new, so some services just haven't incorporated that in there. But if any of that changes, I'll make sure to let you guys know for sure. All right. So here we go. We got Mary Smith at ABC Realty. Business category. Again, this is one of the optimization features. You want to make sure you're choosing the correct category. So I'm going to type in real estate agent. You can see it pops up there. If I just type in real estate, there's other options, but real estate agent is going to give you the best optimization. You're going to click next. Do you want to add a location customers can visit, like a store or office? So this is a critical step for you guys to make sure to choose no. Unless you have your own standalone office outside of your brokerage. So you can check with your broker. A lot of times it goes against the ICA to use the office address in this way because it messes with their GDP. Okay, and a lot of times it'll get deleted. So
If you added an address, how do you delete it?
you can go in. I can. Well, I took mine out. I can show you where you can do that once we get into the profile. But you don't need to have a location to actually have a Google Business Profile. You can select those zip codes in service areas, which we will take a look at. So in this step, you want to choose no. Where do you serve customers? So this is where you start to, and full disclosure, I mean, Paris is popping up everywhere here. I'm currently traveling, so that's why you guys are seeing this. But you're gonna wanna select zip codes, of course, in your area. So I'm gonna do some in Arizona. You can select cities as a whole. So I'm just gonna choose Scottsdale, maybe Phoenix, right? If you wanted other zip codes, you can in there. Maybe I'll do Gilbert. Okay. So again, you just go through and add these. I would recommend sticking around that 10 number, but you can go in and add as many as you would like. I would just keep it around 10. I'm going to click next. Contact info. So this is, again, another optimization feature. You really want to make sure you put in the phone number that you have marketed across all of their websites. Some people have Google phone numbers or Callfire numbers that forward over. You want to use a phone number that is being used on other platforms. So I'm just going to put in my phone number. Current website. Okay. If you don't have a website, you can always, there's tons out there that you can get. Again, I would highly recommend having that in there. So when they go through those other citations, it just confirms the credibility. I'm going to click next. You can see it steps you right through the process. They've made it fairly simple. Good question. So Melissa asks, she has her full name, real estate, and her team name. So good question for the team name. No, as long as your full name is in there and the team name, you should be fine. And of course, at Realty One Group. Yeah, you're going to be good because it's going to then pull citations that have your name on it and also with your team name as well.
Okay,
So
so I have two different Google sites. I have my personal one that I had Dash Real Estate because Melissa Schwartz, even Melissa Kim Schwartz, there are other realtors actually across the country. So you're recommending I go Melissa Schwartz at Realty One Group, not at the Schwartz Team AZ. We need to say Realty One Group there and then have my separate site of the Schwartz team. And that's because my agent, all of our reviews go into that Google platform.
got you. So do you have, it's kind of tricky because when you have two profiles, it's like you have to kind of give them both the same attention
Right.
for it to work. So in your business process, just know that you got a review here on this one, and then maybe the next one you get one here, and then you kind of go back and forth to make sure that both get the attention for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And yes, guys, this will be recorded, or it is being recorded. So I will make sure this gets out to you.
We have to put our license number prominent when we put in our name, like, my name at Realty One Group and then the license number, or is that somewhere else? As long as they can get to it in our website that we enter, right?
Yeah, license number is not required for that. License number is public info through if you're in Arizona ADRE, but that does not need to be in your business profile. That's why I highly recommend the biggest disclosure is your brokerage. So you want to make sure that's why at default, even on social media platforms, my Facebook business page, Justin Taylor at ABC Realty, whatever your brokerage is. Because then no matter what, anytime somebody looks at a post, your brokerage is always disclosed. Always, always, always. So because we don't have a physical mailing address or location, it's going to ask for your mailing address. All right. And that's okay. You can enter that in here. It's not going to be public. This is just to have a verification postcard mailed to you. Okay. So that'll be mailed to you. I believe it's in 3 to 5 business days. Once you get that in there, I'm just going to put this old address because I can delete this once the training's done. You're going to click next. Contact name. I'm just going to put Mary Smith. Great. So it's going to be postcard by mail. It can take up to 5 days. It gets there fairly quickly, like 3 days typically. But it's just going to be a postcard that comes in the mail. And it's going to be, once you open it up, it's going to have like a 6-digit code that you go in and just verify that is, because they want to make sure that it's a real business and this isn't just a bot or something trying to make additional profiles. Okay, so you just put your contact name there, all that information, and then mail. Postcards on the way, 5 days. Click continue. It's going to go ahead and ask you for a couple things. Add your services. So, right, we have first time home buyer services. Maybe you want to add that in there. Buying agent services, can show more. Luxury property buying and sells. You can go through and select as many of these that pertains to you. Maybe your relocation specialist. Seller's agent services. We love that one. Okay, once you go through and select all those, you can always add a custom one. So if you don't see something in here, you can always add additional information in here. Maybe new home construction, sales, and leasing, right? So new home sales, maybe I don't want leasing in there. Add all those in there that you want. Once you have them selected, you click next. Business hours. Okay, this is where you would just toggle back and forth. Business hours start and close. 24 hours, a lot of agents do this, but you don't have to, right? You could do whatever you'd like, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Oops. That'd be a very short day. Let me go down here. We'll do 8. So you can go through this and select all the ones that you wanted. Okay. Saturdays, maybe Sundays, you don't want to work. It's whatever your business model is, just make sure that you add that in here. Okay. So just for training purposes, I'm just going to do this just to save us some time. Okay. You're going to do next. Add messaging. So you can accept messages. You'd get these messages sent to you directly on the, not the app, but the Google Maps app now. Okay. So if you want to accept messages, click next. Add a business description. Let customers learn more about your business by adding a description to your business profile on search, maps, and other Google services. Maybe this is a bio. Maybe this is a breakdown of what you offer in your business, all the different services. Maybe you're just a buyer's agent, just a listing agent. Maybe you specialize in new home sales. You can add all that information there. Again, I'm just going to come here and add in. Just going to copy and paste. Up to 750 characters. You might have to kind of break it down a little. That looks like it fits. Click next. Add photos. So this is a very important one that, you know, a lot of businesses and agents in general will go in and just add one headshot or just one photo. Go in and add as many as you can. Add your past sales, past listings. In a post, you can even do videos. So you just click add photos, select photos from your computer. These are ones that I just downloaded from the website Pexels. A lot of you probably heard me talk about Pexels.com, Pexels.com, or unsplash.com, unsplash.com. These are free, royalty-free stock images. Okay, so you don't have to pay for them. There's a lot that photos that are available in both Arizona and Nevada that I've used for websites and things like that. You do not want to use images from Google directly because it is copyrighted. If you did not take the photos and you don't have permission to post them, I have seen agents receive cease and desist letters. So just try to avoid that as much as you can. So I'm just going to go through and add these 3. Canva is another good one. Yep. Canva would be a great one for your post too. If you want to just go in and create something. The Google business profile class today, that graphic was made in Canva. And I just posted it to that post. So absolutely. You can see that those were there. So we're going to pretend those were my past listings. You can always add your headshot as well, like I did on mine. Maybe you have a team photo. Melissa, I think Melissa has her team photo in there. your logo, things like that, you can always add in as well once we go through here. Also, they're going to give you a $500 free advertising credit for Google Ads. If you're not familiar with Google Ads, that could be a whole nother training, but they do give you a credit for that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that. Profile is almost ready. And what that means is it's not yet verified. You can see here your verification postcard should arrive within 5 days. Use a code on it to finish verifying. Okay, but we can go in and edit profile. It's not going to let us do a whole lot of stuff because they want to verify it is you. So we can come through here and see business information. Again, it's not going to let us edit a whole lot of information or save it until you get that verification code. Also note that your profile will not be live or show until you are verified, until you get that postcard in the mail. Okay. So at this point, do we have any questions about creating the Google Business Profile itself? Yes, I'll make sure to include all the websites and assets, anything that I talk about today, I'll link in bullets in the email that I sent to you all, like Pexels, Unsplash, and things like that.
Like just an example of a good business description. What do you recommend?
So business description, I would use a lot of keywords for your local market. So if you're in Arizona, Phoenix, things like that, I would use your name to really hone in on that SEO. But I would go over really, it's kind of a bio, but a mixture as well as like what your business model is. So maybe you've been an agent for 20 years and you've taken that experience and you found success in specializing in listings or condos or things like that. So I would definitely take time to make sure you write that and it's cohesive and it's authentic. And then I would take that description or bio of what you've written and make sure that you then take it to all of the other platforms you have, Facebook, Zillow, Realtor.com, and add it to those as well. So it's the same across the board. Because again, all these different citations want to try to link together to show credibility.
Okay.
Past sales. Maybe you have success stories in how much you've sold. Things like that, right? Any awards, accolades. Definitely talk those up as well.
Can you always come back to these pages later on, or do you have to finish once you start?
Nope, you can always go back to it. So you can see here, like I just Googled Justin Taylor Rock title. This is the profile. You can always go back in and edit it. You can always edit these.
Okay, but you definitely have to finish everything before your business is actually in Google, right?
When it's live, yeah. So I would make sure everything is complete before you enter in that verification code. Because as soon as you enter that verification code, it goes into queue to then get pushed live. So it's shown on the web like this.
Okay, thank you.
But it may take 24 to 48 hours for that to happen. So, from the time that you do this and the time that you get the verification code, you have just set time aside to make sure that you get as much in there as you can. Because it's going to take a little bit of time anyways for Google to really start showing you in searches.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I would make sure is just, it's so critical, I cannot point it out enough, is that your phone number is consistent across all boards. Everything that I've researched and experts have researched is the phone number is critical to be matching other profiles. So once you are active and live, you can go in and edit things. So you would just come here, but I just wanted to show you what a live business profile would look like. Of course, we see photos up here. If I clicked on this, I added some others from some of our Rock Title events. This was a I believe this was WeServe. We had our booth there. So you just want to add, maybe you have client photos or listings again, you know, all that good stuff, aerial shots of maybe they're around. Of course, the map of the general area where you serve will show up. Your business name. You can add a logo as well if you have a logo. Your reviews are going to show here. You can always click that. They can leave a review there. If I wasn't logged in, if this was somebody else, they could leave a review. They can scroll through and see all those. Hours. These are the hours that I put on mine. Phone number, of course. If you want to have an appointment link, if you have a Calendly or anything like that as an agent, you can always add that in there if you wanted to. They can ask a question. Again, you can get a message. They can send this directly to their phone. And this is internal here, so people won't see that. And then, of course, your post. Okay, so you can always add an update if you wanted to. Whatever the description is, there's that button that you can add. Okay, so I'm going to go back to just so you guys can see that how easy and quick it is. So say you already have content written. Let me just go. Let's talk about hiking. So I'm just going to take just this portion here. Go to my profile. You have 1,500 characters in a post. I'm at 316, so of course you can add quite a bit more. But I'm going to do 3 dots. Continue reading. Or let's do this. Let's choose learn more. Click learn more to read on, something like that. Okay. And then I can add a photo. Again, you just upload. So I'm going to use this photo. I just downloaded a few for this training. So we got our photo, our content there, the button that we chose. We want to link to that button. I'm now going to take the link at the top of this, my website. I'm going to find which tab I'm on. There we go. Okay, so you're all good there with your post. I'm going to click post, update a post. It just goes through a small review process, should show pretty quickly. There it is. So if you're already posting stuff on social media or anywhere else, just add it to this. I know it's another step, but as you can see, it's fairly quickly. Maybe you add an offer, right? There's tons of different things you can do there. Maybe you're a free credit for moving in terms of like a moving truck or, you know, whatever it is. There's a lot of creative things out there. You can add an offer or just add an update and post stuff that you're already posting across other platforms. People that have left a review already for you will get an alert or an update. Hey, you left a review on this profile and they just did an update. That's how powerful this is. Okay, so past clients that you have already worked with, you're staying top of mind even through this. They left you a review. Okay, so there's tons of different ways that you can leave posts there, but it's very powerful. And then again, like the profile I showed you earlier, it will populate other platforms as long as things match, right? Those citations link, it'll start populating Facebook reviews, Zillow reviews, Realtor.com, other platforms you're on, Yelp will show up as well. So that's kind of the outside of it. So let me jump into the edit profile. And I'm going to do it this way. So your business profiles, I'm going to click mine. So this is what the dashboard will look like once it's verified. Has your business name up here, different service areas. A lot of the stuff that's on this main home is what's on this left side. So it's not like you have a ton of stuff over here plus a ton of stuff over here. This is just kind of your main dashboard, and then you can kind of get to the rest of it through here. So you can create a post directly from here. You can add photos, you can create an ad if you wanted to. Just shows you some examples of what those ads would look like. Performance, so you can see how many search views you've gotten, map views. Apparently I have to start getting more reviews and things like that because my percentage has gone down. But once you start getting things going, you'll see that jump up for sure. Anything with COVID-19, I know we're kind of coming out of the end of that, but certain, if you want to update business hours and things like that, you can do that there. And of course, we're advertising Google products for you to maybe get a professional email. Shows your latest post. I'm going to click see more. And you can always get data. Let's see if there's anything on here. So these I just posted to recently, but then you'll start getting data of how many views and things you're getting with those posts. Any updates for Google? This is really what I want to show you guys on here. Okay, so in your main dashboard, scroll down on the right hand side, you have this beautiful review button. This is what I want you guys to text to yourself so you can easily text it to clients or potential clients to ask for a review. Okay, so if you click share review form, you can copy this. As soon as someone goes to it, pops up that review box right away. You can see within Maps, it shows your profile. And they can leave your review right here. You can even add their own photos. So if you're at the closing table at Rock Title, get a photo with one of the props we have. And when you ask your client to leave a review, ask them to upload the photo too. Again, social proof. The more content media you have on here, the better. But the reason I wanted to show you that review link is because if you tell them just to go to your, Google Justin Taylor, and they're not going to find it that way. Make it as easy as possible for them to leave a review. The other reason I love Google a little more than Zillow is because Zillow's review process is kind of a process. So we want to make it as easy as possible for the consumer. So again, you can just go into your dashboard, click this. I would copy that, email it to yourself so you can get it on your phone, save it in your notes or something. So anytime you want to send out a link to get a client review, it's easily there. Share it to your Facebook page, asking for someone to leave your review. It doesn't have to be a closed transaction. Maybe you had a consultation with someone. Maybe you just had a conversation and updated them on the market or something like that. Hey, I'm trying to build my online presence more in my Google business profile. Do you mind leaving me a quick review? I challenge you all to strive for, it's Thursday, so I'd say by the end of the week, but I'd say in the next week to get yourself 10 more reviews. If you already have a profile. Now, a lot of you are going to go and set this up, and it might take a minute, but once that's live, I challenge you to go get 10 reviews right off the bat. It's possible. It's just like when I sit down with agents and tell them, all right, we're going to get 50 contacts in your CRM. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of people. But, we have hundreds of names in this phone. Google tells you the percentage of what you're at. You can always view your Google profile on search, maps, and you can share it here as well if you wanted to see that. If you're a team or anything like that, you can always send invitations for other people to help manage this profile. Just makes it easy so they don't have full access to it, but they can still go in and manage it. Any questions on what we've gone through today?
Justin, you were going to show me or show us how to delete if we have accidentally put in our business address and we shouldn't have.
Yeah, let me go in here and see if I can show you that. I'm gonna go to
I'm
info.
in my
You're in there?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go to info, you can see here, mine says no locations. So if I had an address there, I'd want to edit it. And there's an option to delete it. Do you see that there?
I don't see the delete option.
Do you, okay, so
It has data in there, so I went and I
delete.
deleted all the data, and then it says, oh, we can't continue on because we need you to have an address.
Yeah, did you try clicking the clear address button and then you clicked apply?
I don't have it. Where did you?
You might have to scroll down because it's hidden with this right bar here.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Try-
Thank you. It worked.
Yep, and then you should be able to hit apply there.
Thank you. It worked.
Of course.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I have had a Google profile previously, and I just went in and edited a little bit, but I don't show reviews from like Zillow and Realtor.com and Trulia, all those things, when I know I have them. So I've had this Google profile for a couple years, but it only shows Google reviews.
Yep. So it would probably come down, my guess would be the citation data is not matching. So like whether it's like business name is not exactly the same, phone number, if it's an address, descriptions, things like that, something Google is not liking to link those together. Like the profile I showed, it showed the Zillow ones. I've seen others with Facebook reviews on there as well. And again, at the end of the day, we truly don't know all of Google's inside algorithm and data and what they do. We can only discuss strategies and best practices. But my guess would be if you go through and do an audit and make sure everything matches in a short period of time, you should be able to see those pull over.
Okay, so follow up.
At least one of them. Yeah.
So if I change so that it says my name at Realty One Group on all of them, is it going to mess with, like I have widgets on other places that link to my profile? Is it going to mess that up?
So I wouldn't do like a Zillow profile. I wouldn't do your name at your brokerage. I would only do that because your brokerage is disclosed there already. I only recommend doing that for like a Facebook business page or your Google business profile. As long as your first name is in there, it can match up with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And there's
I don't see the dashboard. I have had a profile already, and I had the app, and I did see where they've integrated the app, but I don't see the screen that you have visible, the dashboard.
So when you what is the business name or what is your profile under?
It's under my name, the Joseph DeFrancis.
Okay, so my guess would be that you're not signed in to the account that you created it under, or maybe you're not signed into Gmail in general or Google account. You have to be signed in.
I went in directly from Google Maps, and then, I'm able to edit my profile and everything in there and view all the contents that you've been talking about. But I do not see the dashboard.
Not in the dashboard. Okay, I can kind of send you a walkthrough from my phone. I won't be able to show it on here because it'd be so hard for everyone to see.
That's good.
Yep. But Joseph, I'll make sure to send you that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Let me just take a look at a couple of these questions here. When posting, does it use hashtags? You can put hashtags. I don't recommend it because it's not gonna, it's not a platform built for that per se. Instagram, Facebook, you can search by hashtags. Google Posts, it's not gonna work that way. Good question though, love that. How can we send our past clients a request to leave a review. So that link that I showed you in the dashboard here, I'm gonna go home. So when you're home in the dashboard, scroll down on the right-hand side, click share review form, copy this, and either email it to your client directly. I prefer text messages because there's a 99% open rate. And I would send that over with a quick message to your client to say, hey, I'm trying to build my online presence in Google profile. I loved working with you. Could you leave me a quick review? And just leave it at that. And this link will take them directly to that form for it to pop up. Do we somehow log in to keep editing and updating the profile? Yeah, so once you create the Google business profile, you can either just go to google.com/business and you can click manage listing and you sign in that way. And again, I'll put that in the email as well. But that's how you can go in and continue editing. For me, I use Gmail. So the Gmail that I use to create my account is always open. So I never have to go there. I just go to the listing and I Google my name basically and edit it that way. But google.com/business is how you would go back to verify and edit that. Good question. I may have missed it, but why don't we want to list our business address? A couple of reasons. One, the biggest one is a lot of brokerages in their ICA, it goes against the ICA. So you've agreed to something that you're not going to use the office or branch address in that way. So you want to check with your broker with that. Otherwise, if you have a standalone office that you're renting somewhere else, absolutely you can use that. It doesn't harm you. But honestly, being able to use the zip codes or areas that you service, in my opinion, is so much better than having that location. Because now your people that are searching in those areas and not just a radius around that office address will populate as well. Yep, Tammy. So thank you for pointing this out. So Tammy went in and added her last name to the business name, and it has to re-verify her. So certain changes and edits that you make in your profiles, unfortunately, they have to re-verify because they want to make sure that it's not fraud, that someone's trying to hack you or anything like that. So you will get another postcard in the mail before that edit goes live. Kathleen, I'll make sure you get that as well. You know what I'll do? I'll do it on my phone and I'll include it in that email too. I want to make sure everyone, if it's 2 people asking, everyone's going to ask for sure. So I want to make sure that everyone gets that so you have the right information. Cool. That's all I saw in the chat box. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So
Yeah.
I made a profile back like a year ago, and I just Googled it to verify like I'm not crazy, and I did make it. It's coming up in the search results. However, when I go back to edit the profile, it's not letting me, it's letting me log in, but it's saying that that name doesn't exist, like the business name, but it's coming up in the search results.
Do
So
you
it's
have
letting me edit it.
do you have more than one Gmail?
I do.
You do. So what I'm thinking is it's trying to pull this. I have several Gmails that come here. So I'm thinking that it's when you're going to try to log in, it's pulling a Gmail that's not associated with that account. So
Okay.
what I would do is either go to google.com/business and try to go in that way, or go up here, sign out of all those accounts, and then try to go in and edit again. And it's going to allow you to select which one you want to.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Of course. That's a problem when we have several emails. We have 2 million passwords we have to remember. It's crazy times. Good questions, guys. Anything else before we go? I want to make sure I respect your guys' time. I know I'm 10 minutes after, but
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
of course. And again, if you guys have any follow-up questions, I'll make sure the recording gets sent out. anything additional that we talked about that I would send you, I'll make sure you get that by end of today, tomorrow morning at the latest. But any other questions, you can always email me, justin@rocktitle.com, roctitle.com. And just a reminder, if you want to see our full training schedule, rockuniversity.com. I'll be going through all these every Thursday through the end of June. We have a ton of different topics that we're going to be going over. I just want to make sure we take it piece by piece so you guys can implement these into your business over time, because it is a lot.
Justin, so you did record some of these videos. Where can we go to watch them?
So once this was recorded, I'll make sure that it gets edited, everybody gets it. The previous videos will be in this Access Video Library. If you click that, you can create an account, just this information here, and then you will see the videos populate there. And I'm adding them every single day, so more and more will go. So you can always go there to take a look at them as well.
Thanks.
Yep, rockuniversity.com is going to be a huge resource for you guys, not just for the training schedule, but any past videos that we've done. You can always see them there as well. And I have one last thing, because I believe in helping as much as I can. If you guys want one more 5-star review, email me. I've given you my email. Email me with your Google profile review link, and I'll go in and leave you a 5-star review. So if you want one other review, go ahead and do that. I'll make sure that that gets done. Any questions in general? I know I've asked that. And as always, please consider writing Rock Title into your next purchase contract. We want to be able to continue providing viable trainings like today. So if you don't know who your account executive or escrow officer would be in your area, reach out to me and I will be happy to introduce you. And until then.
Hey,
Yeah.
Can you put your email back on there again, please?
Of course.
Sorry.
Make sure you get that review. Whoops, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Google Ads class. Yes, sure. I've ran Google Ads for agents in the past. So I'll be happy to do that. And that's the thing too. If you guys want to email me and you have suggestions on what other topics you want to learn, I'll be more than that. List isn't just what's going to be done. There's other classes that we can add in there as well. So if there's topics that you guys want to see, please let me know. But I'll make sure Google Ads class gets in there. We're good on the email?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool, guys.
Okay, one last thing. You said it was rocktitleuniversity.com?
rockuniversity.com. ROC
Then university. Okay.
university.com. Yeah,
All right, thank you.
of course. Awesome, guys. I appreciate you all for joining me today. I'll get working on getting that follow-up email sent out to everyone. And I hope you have an awesome weekend. If you're doing an open house or you're out with a client, hopefully you get another deal under contract.
Okay, Jay,
Thank you.
one last thing, send me that instructions on how to get to my profile, because I am logged in. I'm just not seeing the dashboard.
Yep, absolutely. I'll record that so everybody gets it as well. I'll include that in the follow-up email.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you next week.